Hi, this is going to be a review of the Owlet Smart Sock 2. I've had it for about a year and a half now. And first I'm going to show you how to put it on both the left and right foot, and just my thoughts about using it over 1 year. Also, I have another video about the features of the Owlet Smart Sock 2. There's a new version, the 3, which has some improvements. But last year I posted a feature review of the Smart Sock 2, so you can check that out here. This is how you put it on the right foot. So you line up the pinky toe indicator, and then you wrap those two bands around, and then you take the long strap, wrap it around the ankle, and this is what it looks like. This is sock number 3, and you can see that fits pretty snug, as my son is already a year old here, at which point he can also try to take it off and can probably take it off by himself. Now for the other foot, this is the left foot, same procedure. You take the pinky and you line it up with the pinky indicator, and then you wrap it around and you fasten the toe straps first. Once you've got that done, you wrap the long strap around the heel and over the foot like you see here. And you can see it's wearing out a bit. This is sock number 3. This is the one we've used the most because he went through 1 and 2 pretty fast. Here's my review of 1 year later. We never had an incident, so knock on wood. It never had to alert us of anything that was actually happening. The alert did go off a couple times, and those were just false alarms. Either the battery was too low or the sock had moved that it couldn't get a reading. I found that towards the end, when the sock was starting to get a little too tight on my son's foot, so around 10 months, we would start to get a lot of misreadings more often, maybe because it just wasn't fitting properly, I think. Yeah, it says up to 25 pounds, 4 to 18 months. So he went over 25 pounds around 5 months. So we actually stopped using it around 7 months. And that's because we were much more comfortable with him sleeping. We could observe him sleeping and notice that he was able to move around easily. Like by that point, he was already rolling over, standing up on his own. So when he got into a situation where he couldn't breathe, he was easily able to get out of it. And yeah, I think that's the usage for this, is basically until they start pulling themselves up and standing up, because by that point they can get out of situations and fix themselves to be able to breathe again. So the sock sizes, we went through size 1 and size 2 very quickly, and then we stayed on size 3 for about probably 70% of the time, because they ramp up in weight pretty quick. They plump up. He got to 14 pounds in maybe 2 or 3 months, and then the rest of the time was spent on sock 3. And so you can see sock 3 got worn out the most. I don't have sock 1 and 2, they're in the box, but it would be nice if they maybe gave an extra sock 3, or at least had a pack of just sock size 3. In terms of connectivity, we lost Wi-Fi connection probably 8 times. In terms of alerts, I'd say there's like 1 false alert every week, and that's either due to the sock just not being on properly, or a Wi-Fi connection dropping, or having no battery. To fix the Wi-Fi, most of the time I just unplugged it and replugged it. It's like 90% of the time it worked. On the rare occasions, I'd have to reset up the Wi-Fi within the app. So I used a 2 monitoring system where I used the Nanit with the breathing band in addition to the Owlet. And I found that Using the Nanit and the breathing band, which has a camera, I was using that more because I was looking into that app a lot more, actually zooming in, watching him breathe, the band move up and down. And then the Owlet was more of just a backup. I kind of trusted the band because it actually sensed motion more versus the Owlet and its O2 sensor. However, when my son was sick and we moved him into the bed, or when we traveled, the Owlet was perfect for that because it was out of his crib and we were able to monitor him away from the crib. So when we went on weekend trips or we put him into our bed, that was when we got to use just the Owlet. In terms of plugging it in, actually having to plug it in is a big friction point to charging it. So we would wake up, change him, and then forget to plug it in just because you need two hands to plug it in and you can't really do that while changing. Sometimes you forget, which is why the Owlet 3 looks much better because you'll actually just place it on the charger and it'll start charging because I believe there's a magnet that attaches it instead of actually a plug. And so, yeah, I think about 20% of the time we would actually just forget to plug in the Nanit, and that night we wouldn't have a full night's coverage, or we wouldn't have the charge to actually get the Owlet on him, and we just rely on the Nanit. So that should be a big improvement with Owlet 3. One thing I wish they had was a zoom out on the charts because they're pretty constant. It'd be nice to zoom out to see the heartbeat and the oxygen levels over time, because I know their heartbeats start fast and then it slowly regulates to a more natural heartbeat. Yeah, so the charts, I rarely looked at them. I guess if you were noticing big spikes or drops, you might want to have a look at that. But fortunately for us, we didn't see any of that. So I guess boring charts are good. I was looking for more of a month-to-month chart just to see progress, which would be a little more interesting. Hey, I just want to make a comment that I probably didn't look at the Owlet Smart Sock graphs a lot because I had the Nanit graphs or the Nanit night summaries, which was an actual video where I could see my child moving around. So I tended to refer to those a lot more than the Owlet. But I guess if I didn't have the Nanit and the Owlet was my sole monitoring device, I probably would look at the graphs a lot more. So that's it for this review of the Owlet 2. Hope you found it useful, and if you have any questions, please post them down below and I'll do my best to see if I can answer them. Thanks.